Roland Martin came for me. And I wasn't in one of my best moods. And the thing is like Roland Martin came for me and I wasn't even talking to him. You know, it's just, I wasn't even talking to him. And I want to show you what he was so angered about. Okay. Because Roland Martin's job is to jump in and defend the Democratic Party at all costs, even when they're wrong. Like I've never seen someone have Twitter thumbs like this before in my life. He will just jump in very quickly. It's really weird. It's really weird. I'm like, dude, we don't even you don't follow me. I don't follow you. So it's kind of weird. You know, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what? I don't know if he has people sending him certain tweets and saying, oh, you better respond to this. You better respond to that or whatever. But it's obvious this dude is just there to simp for the Democratic Party and defend it at all costs. So let me show where it came from. Let me just bring this in. Okay, let me show you where it all came from. So I am tweeting. I'm not responding to a tweet. I'm not responding to him or anybody. This is just a tweet. No one in my family washed greens in a bathtub. This reminds me of Hillary's hot sauce in my bag, pandering bullshit. So what was I referring to? I was referring to this whack ass conversation from Kamala Harris trying to be something or pretending to be something that she is not. Okay. As you can see, Roland is not tagged. So I want you to hear what she says. And for the people who are not aware, when we say greens, I'm referring to collard greens. It is a dark green leafy vegetable. It's very good. And no, Black people do not wash collards in the bathtub. Listen to what Kamala said. She's at an event. Listen to this.
I have a friend who had a Christmas party, Christmas Eve every year, and she asked me to make the greens for a party every year. And I am not lying to you that I would make so many greens that I'd need to wash them in the bathtub. I'm telling you the truth.
So how do you make your greens? Do you put turkey in them? Do you
bacon.
Nice.
No. So again, yes, I know S-Con. Why would anyone wash food in the bathtub? Hello? Okay. So, and this is not even me saying that that's not what she does. I'm not even saying that. What I'm doing is trying to prove a point. This is a cultural thing. We do not wash greens in a bathtub. I ain't never been to know my grandma, my great grandma, my mom. I ain't never been to no Black person's house and they wash greens in a bathtub. Never. Okay. So that was me proving a point. We can get to the bacon thing in just a second. Just a second. Let me let her finish.
You put turkey in them? Do you
bacon.
Put nice. My grandma
I do bacon.
She's put
garlic.
vinegar.
I put white vinegar. Yes. I do. So I start with, I slice up my garlic. But no, first I chop up the bacon and get all that fat going. Then I put garlic, some chili peppers.
Yes.
And then a lot of water and a little chicken stock, and I let it go for a while before I put the greens in. And then, right, so you get that going and all that flavor, and then I put the greens in for a couple hours. Then I do vinegar, and then I cheat and do a little Tabasco.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, but Tabasco of all, like I like Louisiana hot sauce, but Tabasco has that right amount of vinegar. Yeah. And so that's how I do my greens.
I see why you get invited every year.
No, we must correct this, ladies and gentlemen. We must correct this. Okay. So, first of all, let me just put up this. Dwayne says, Ham Hawks, thank you. Z-Manny says justice for collard greens. This is not how Black people make greens. Now, again, I'm not saying she may do it that way, but this is not how Black people make. Do you get? I'm trying to prove a point. This is a cultural thing. And everybody in my family has made them, include me. I also, and this could be a preferential thing, I also don't use no damn bacon. Like Dwayne said, no, you use a ham hock. We don't. No, that's not how you, a ham hock, a smoked turkey. Someone put smoked turkey in the chat just a second ago. I thought Auntie said turkey necks. Yeah, you use something like that. So I don't know where she got that recipe from. But again, it points to the cultural upbringing. And for people say, oh, well, you're just getting on her dad, or she wasn't raised by her dad. No, this is not about whether or not you're raised by your dad. Because her father is from Jamaica. For those of us that are Black Americans, listen, that is something that's an American thing. And people understand that, particularly down south. This is something that if you go back, you look up, even back during slavery, like slaves used to make it. So we can talk about greens another night, but I'm very particular. And anybody here that knows me very well will tell you Sabby is very particular about her greens. And I am, because especially like living in the Northeast, I done had some bad damn greens. There's been a number of times I've gone to restaurants and they're like, we got collards. And I'm like, oh, I'll give them a try. And it's bitter. Collard greens are not supposed to be bitter. So that tell me something. Okay. So now when I go out to eat, if I go to a barbecue joint up north, I just do not get collards. It's okay. It is what it is when in Rome. So when I go back to visit my parents down south, then I can get greens at the barbecue joint. But I know when I'm up north, I know up here in New England, I ain't getting no damn greens. I have to make them myself. It's okay. I'm all right with it. So I wasn't trying to clown her in a sense to say that she was lying about what she does. She probably does do that. But I'm going to let you know right now, and this is why you can't eat everybody's damn food. This is why you can't eat everyone's food. Because if I come to your house and I find out that you are rinsing your food in the bathtub, oh, I'm not eating there, son. I'm good. I'm good. So Roland comes in. I know Miss Kiwi. Miss Kiwi said, or smoked turkey in greens. Bacon goes in cabbage. I know Miss Kiwi. I know. I know, girl. I know. Roland Martin comes in. Nobody talking to the roly-po. Nobody. Roland comes in and inserts himself into this conversation. I think he thought he was going to ratio me, but it did not work that way. Okay, 3.1K likes. He came in 789 likes. This is what Roland Martin had to say. And you pushing the same hot sauce bullshit. Stories were done a decade before about her love of hot sauce. That ain't new. And your family didn't establish the rules on washing collard greens, but hers did. What you know about my family, Roland? Hers did. Did I say my family made the rule? No, I was trying to prove a damn point. And he knows the point that I was trying to make. She's not from the culture. And that's fine. It is what it is. But she should just say that and stop avoiding the question on interviews when people ask you, oh, well, Donald Trump said that you're not Black. She was like, I'm just going to say next question. Okay. I don't know any Black American that would sit there. If somebody said to your face that you're not Black, I don't know any Black American that would sit there and just pretend like next question. So think about that. People can't be falling for this again. They did this with you, with Obama, and then now, you know, they trying to do this with Kamala Harris. And people need to know what they're actually getting. And this wouldn't even be an issue if the Democratic Party didn't have her running on, I am a Black woman. And the reason why they're doing that is because she has no policy. She has no platform on her website still today. So they're running on her identity, not on policy. And then they're telling all of you that if you don't support her, then you're anti-Black or you're misogynist. Well, I'm a Black woman, boo. And I'm not anti-Black, and I damn sure as hell am not misogynist. So miss me with all of that. Okay. So Roll the Pole comes in here. You know, he got to bring up the hot sauce stuff. He mad because I mentioned the hot sauce thing because that was his friend, Hillary Clinton, because I brought up Hillary Clinton. And that's a problem because Roland Martin no longer works at TV One because Roland Martin was leaking questions to Hillary Clinton. His buddy, his pal. You don't want this, Roland. You don't want this right now, you know? And so I even said, and I've said this to him before, you don't want to come here. You don't want to come here. I said, you are a shill for a party that has done nothing for Black people but pander and virtue signal. As I said before, Roland, you are more than welcome to have this conversation with me. Will you run from me like you did Jamal Green? Come on the show, Roland. What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of, Roland? Come have this conversation with me face to face. I don't care. Come have this conversation with me face to face. Let's talk about this. Let's talk it out. Roland doesn't want to do that. Roland still wants to be friends with Donna Brazell, DNC chair liar. He still wants to be in the Democrat Party club, even though they booted him from mainstream media. They booted him from corporate media. They got rid of him at CNN. Then they got rid of him at TV One, but he still wants to be in the club. And he wants to be able to shake Hillary Clinton's hand. He wants to be able to dance the two-step with Beyonce. He wants to be able to do the electric slide with Michelle Obama. Roland still wants to roll. I've never been in those circles with those people. I've never been in those elite bubble circles. Roland has been there for years, and he still wants to be there. Still want to be there. And we talk about people pretending to be something that they're not. Why is Kamala Harris changing her accent in Detroit? All of a sudden, her voice just changes. Now, this is not to say what she's saying isn't important. She's talking about what unions have done, which is true, what she says here. But all of a sudden, I felt like I was listening to somebody else. Listen to this.
For generations in Detroit and across our nation, the brothers and sisters of labor have stood together to righteously demand fair pay, better benefits, and safe working conditions. And let me say, every person in our nation has benefited from that work. Everywhere I go, I tell people, look, you may not be a union member. You better thank a union member.
Excuse me? Where is this coming from? Who is this speaking? It gets worse. Wait for it. Wait a minute. Watch this.
Not be a union member. You better thank a union member. For the 5-day work week, you better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time. Because what we know is when union wages go up, everybody's wages go up. When union workplaces are safer, every workplace is safer. When unions are strong, America America is strong.
Now, what she's saying about what unions have done, that is true. She's right. Unions have done a lot. However, who is this?
Union member? For the 5-day work week? You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave.
And who is this? Who is this person? Why is it that politicians, this mainly happened on the Democrat side, why is it that Democrat politicians feel like when they come into cities that are predominantly Black, like Detroit, this is in Detroit, or when they go to an event and they're trying to recruit more Black people, like when she came to Atlanta and she brought in Meg Thee Stallion. Why do they do this? Why are you changing your accent? You better thank a union member. Who are you? Who are you? You don't talk like that. And Roland Martin, he wants to overlook this kind of stuff. He wants to say, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. She's a Black woman. I'm tired of people. I'm tired of people coming after Kamala Harris, calling her not Black. She's a Black woman. Black people don't have to try that hard, boo. Black people don't have to sit up there and put up this fake, you better thank a union member. Black people don't sit up here instead of talking about washing no damn greens and no damn bathtub. We don't do none of that. Black people don't say, oh yeah, I know I had some marijuana back in my day too. I used to smoke a little something, something and listen to Tupac. No. People who do that are people that are trying to play you, people that are trying to speak to a specific group at a certain point in time, and they feel like they got to pretend to be somebody that she obviously not. You think it's just me? People noticed it. It was even mentioned at the press conference to Karine Jean-Pierre. Listen.
A different topic. Since when does the vice president have what sounds like a Southern accent?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well,
I mean, this is...
She was talking about unions in Detroit using one tone of voice.
Is this something that
same
you think...
line.
Okay, Peter.
That she used the same line in Pittsburgh, and it sounded like she at least had some kind of a Southern drawl.
I mean, do you hear the question that you're... I mean, do you think Americans seriously think that this is an important question? They care... You know what they care about? They care about the economy. They care about lowering costs. They care about health care. That's what Americans care about.
So
that's what they want to hear.
This is something...
They care about, your colleague just asked me about what basically we talked about, went back and forth about democracy and freedom.
Yeah, but the thing is, the reason why people are talking about those things, Karine Jean-Pierre, because it's obvious that Kamala Harris is not who you guys said that she was. And also she has no policy platform on her website. It's September.
That's what they care about. I'm not even going to entertain some question about the press. It's just hearing it sounds so ridiculous.
Well, but hearing it is...
The question, I'm talking about the questions is just insane.
Is that how she talks in meetings?
I'm just... Peter, we're moving on. We're still moving on.
So obviously... You know, I'm not the only one that noticed it. Other people are noticing it too. And it's just, you know, the platitudes that these politicians give to Black communities, or when they go into a community that's predominantly Black, it's laughable. It's ridiculous. And they feel like, oh, if I say these things, I don't actually have to do anything for them. Never forget what we found out about Nancy Pelosi's emails, the email that was sent to her during the BLM protest. Never forget that. What was leaked never promised them anything. And that's what the Democratic Party's been doing. They're not doing anything for Black people. Now, a number of people, they'll come over here and say, oh, you're just helping the Republicans. No, I'm not trying to help them either. We know the Republican Party isn't trying to do those things. I'm not trying to help them either. I'm trying to tell you, stop being a slave to the system. I'm trying to tell you, stop voting for this party that is doing nothing for you. Now, people will fall for this. People fell for it during Obama too, but at least Obama did have like a policy platform. I mean, he was running on, oh, we're going to give everybody should have health care, like that kind of stuff. He did have policies and all that jazz. But Kamala is literally just running on vibes and the fact that she's not Donald Trump. And the pandering that is done to the Black community, you go to Atlanta, so you bring in Meg the Stallion. You're in Detroit, so you feel like you better thank a union member because you're in Detroit. They don't do this to other communities. You know, I mean, I don't see these kind of things. When Kamala Harris, they're going to go sit down and have conversations with the Latino community. Do they bring in Enrique Iglesias? Do they bring him in? Do they call Ricky Martin? Ricky still saying, Ricky? Do you? I don't know. They do this with us because they feel like all Black people are going to care about is entertainment. So as long as we just entertain them, they'll come out and support us. Now, for some of those things, I think we do have to sit back and ask ourselves, why do we allow that to happen? Why do people fall for it? Not everybody, but some people do. Why do they fall for it? Because as long as they are entertaining you, then they don't really have to do anything for you. As long as they're entertaining you, people won't ask them or demand that they do anything. So something has to change. So for people like Roland Martin, for him coming after me and saying the things, oh, well, you're just da 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 da. You don't know me, Ro, but I know some things about you. Get out of here. Let's ask some questions. How is it that you maintained your space in the DNC bubble after you got fired from TV1 for leaking questions to Hillary Clinton, after you got fired from CNN for anti-gay comments? How is it that you still managed to maintain your presence in the DNC elite bubble? How does that work, Roland? Maybe because you're still doing the work for the party behind the scenes, Roland. Maybe because Roland's job is to come in and try to crush any opposition or any demands for the Democratic Party. We got people out here like Roland Martin and D.L. Hughley telling you shouldn't ask for a goddamn thing. You should just be thankful that the person that is running is not Donald Trump, and you should support that person that's not him. You got people sitting up there who are millionaires, these celebrities telling you don't ask for anything. So I invited Roland to have the conversation. You don't want to have the conversation. He don't want to have that conversation with me because I think he know how this is going to go. Because I got some questions. How you stay in those circles, Roland? How you stay in those circles when you were cheating behind the damn scenes, handing over questions to people and shit? How you get to stay in those circles? Somebody let me know, because usually when you get fired from corporate media, usually you're not allowed back in those circles. Just ask people like Mark Lamont Hill. So how is it, Rolly Roll? He doesn't want this. And he can call me whatever he wants and say whatever he wants about what my parents did or whatever. But the fact that you came over and jumped in when nobody tagged you, nobody came for you. And if we really want to go back to it and keep it what it is, I just want to remind you, this is the same guy who ran away from Jamal Green. You see, some people say a lot about you online, but the moment you see them in person, they run away. So this is when Jamal Green approached him in Chicago at the DNC, because he was there for that. Not only did he run away, he hid behind a woman. He put a woman in front of him. This guy. Roll on, roll.